Assalamualaikum waalaikumsalam. Assalamualaikum
Waalaikumsalam.
Assalamualaikum
Waalaikumsalam.
Assalamualaikum waalaikumsalam.
Hello and welcome to a new edition of our program, Peace Be Upon You. In this edition of the program, we are going to watch a variety of segments, but first we'll go for a short break and we'll be back, so stay tuned. Welcome back, dear viewers. And the head of the Egyptian Syndicate for Quran Reciters and Learners, Sheikh Mohammed Mahmoud At-Tablawi, he went on to become one of the main Quran reciters in the country, performing at the most prestigious religious ceremonies attended by successive presidents since the era of late President Anwar Sadat. Let's know more about this important figure.
Assalamualaikum waalaikumsalam.
The head of the Egyptian Syndicate for Quran Reciters and Learners, Sheikh Mohammed Mahmoud At-Tablawi, died at his home in Menofia Governorate at the age of 86 after a long illness. Sheikh Mohammed Mahmoud At-Tablawi was born on the 14th of November 1934. Tablawi memorized the whole Quran by the age of 9 and became a professional reciter when he was 15. He took 9 successive tests to become a reciter on the radio and finally succeeded. Sheikh Mohammed Mahmoud At-Tablawi went on to become one of the main Quran reciters in the country, performing at the most prestigious religious ceremonies attended by successive presidents since the era of President Anwar Sadat. Al-Tablawi also released many versions of his recitations of the Quran in different official variants. The Sheikh was a master in breathing techniques and had a musical ear, allowing him to move smoothly between different scales.
يا عبادي لا خوف عليكم اليوم ولا أنتم تحزنون الذين آمنوا بآياتنا ادخلوا الجنة أنتم وأزواجكم تحبرون يطاف عليهم بصحاف من ذهب وأكواب تشتهي الأنفس وتلذ الأعين.
Assalamualaikum wa alaikum salam.
Welcome back, viewers, and now we are going to take you to Italy and try to know more about this interesting country and the number of Muslims who live there, their traditions, and the most important mosques.
Assalamualaikum wa alaikum salam.
Rome is the capital of Italy and the most populous and extensive municipality, ranking among the major European capitals by territory size. Stands in the central western portion of the Italian peninsula on the Tiber River within the Lazio region. The presence of Islam in Italy has more than 13 centuries of history, beginning with the June 827 landing on the Sicilian coast by Arab forces led by Asad ibn Surat, and the subsequent conquest of large parts of today's southern Italy. This first phase of Islamic history in Italy came to a close between the end of 12th and the beginning of 13th century. The second phase in Islam's history within Italy began in 1980s with the unprecedented influx of Muslim immigrants in the country. The Mosque of Rome, situated in Paroli, Rome, Italy, the largest mosque in the Western world, in terms of land area. It has an area of 30,000 meters square and can accommodate more than 12,000 people. The building is located in the Acqua Astosa area at the foot of the Paroli mountain, north of Italy. It is also the seat of Italian Islamic Cultural Center. In addition to being a meeting place for religious activities, it provides cultural and social services, variously connecting Muslims together. It also holds teachings, wedding ceremonies, funeral services, exhibitions, conventions, and other events, despite being located in an area with relatively few Muslims.
Assalamualaikum wa alaikum salam.
Welcome back, dear viewers, and in this segment of our program we are going to answer your questions that we received on our program Facebook page. And today we have with us our dear guest, Dr. Abdel Nasser Ghanem. He is an assistant professor at the Faculty of Fundamentals of Religion.
Assalamualaikum wa alaikum salam.
Welcome back, dear viewers, and now we are going to answer some of your questions. And today we have with us Dr. Abdel Nasser Ghanem, Assistant Professor of Hadith and its Sciences, Faculty of Fundamentals of Religion, Al-Azhar University. Good afternoon, sir.
It's my pleasure to be with you, Your Honor, Ms. Shireen, and your dear viewers.
So, sir, one of the questions is, what is the Islamic perspective on using social media to share personal life updates, especially when it involves showing pictures of oneself or one's family? And is there a line between sharing and oversharing according to Islamic etiquette?
All praise be to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the most compassionate, the most merciful. And may Allah's peace and blessings be upon His prophets and messengers, all of them, from Adam to Noah to Moses to Jesus Christ to Muhammad, the final and the last messengers. And may Allah's peace and blessing be upon His companions and His righteous followers until the last day. Actually, you mentioned a very interesting question. As you know, this is something famous nowadays, yes, that the people don't like to put a rule or a limitation for what should be published, or they don't like put a borders or a line between the private life and the work life and the social media activities. And recently, as you know, sometimes we saw the people that they are publishing special things that they should not be published, or they share with the others, their personal life, their family, their children. And sometimes the people just keep writing, publishing, I'm eating my food now, I'm in that restaurant now, I'm doing this now, those are my children, this is my family, and without putting in consideration that whenever we do an action, especially if it remains for a long time, or it will affect a lot of people around us, or it will be something public that everybody will see it, that this action, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will ask us about everything we write. You know, what was our intention when we publish this? When we publish something, did we tell the truth, or we are just fabricating a story, or we are lying, you know, or we are publishing something that they should be secret. We break secrets of the others. We hurt the emotions of the others, or even we should be sometimes worried about our blessings. You know, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us some blessing, we should not show off that, you know, as every time, you know, even willingly or unwillingly, someone will admire that, or feeling jealous, or feeling envy, you know, and this is may affect your life, you know. So if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give you blessings, you know, you should not show off. You know, you just appear what must be appeared.
Yes.
You know, you show to the people what must be showed. Other than that, you know, the thing is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make them special. They must remain special and private as they are.
Yes.
You know, so you should not share your privacy with the others, you know, in social media, because no need for that. You should ask yourself before doing anything, what is the purpose? What is the purpose? What I would like to achieve from spreading such things? Do I have a good intention? Did I tell the truth? You know, or I'm just, you know, keep writing, publishing without, you know, even asking myself such questions. And sometimes we see recently that the people just would like to take the trend, you know, to show off, and that they would like to raise up the number of viewers, and they don't take care if this is permissible or not permissible, if, you know, if of the gain that I will have from this will be a lawful gain, or it will be forbidden money, you know. So if you just raising up the level of your bank account or money just by telling lies, or spreading privacy things, or break secrets, or hurt the emotions of the others, you know, so this is not, we know that this is not halal money.
Yes.
You know, and now we consume forbidden gain. So when we consume forbidden gain, and mashallah, after that we go to the masjid, we have sibha, we are saying adhkar, and, you know, and we are doing our prayers, and we consider that mashallah we are a perfect believer, you know, even if our body is full of, you know, we consume haram food, you know, and then we raise up our hand and we consider that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will listen to our prayer. And as the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, أطب مطعمك تكن مستجاب الدعوة. That means purify your food. Don't consume any forbidden gain, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala answer your prayer. And the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam mentioned someone that he's traveling, he's tired, maybe he's traveling to Hajj, you know, and he's tired, maybe as he used to wear to have a camel or a horse as he was before, and he's taking a long journey for months, you know, and then he raised his hand to Allah, say, oh Allah, labbaik Allahumma labbaik, and he's saying, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, la labbaik wa la sa'adaik, no answer for you. Your clothes is haram, your body is full of haram, you know. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will never listen to such one, as the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said. So the first step that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala listen to your dua and give you acceptance, that you should be you should be sure about every money that it comes to your pocket. This is halal food, or this is haram food, this is allowed, you know, gain or forbidden gain. Because take care, if you just consume, you know, any piece of haram food, this is may corrupt a lot of things. As the Prophet ﷺ hadith, it's narrated by Imam Muslim, that the Prophet ﷺ said, said, if just someone consume something from for bidding gain, he will never enter the paradise. So one of the Sahaba shocked and said, even, O Prophet of Allah, even if it's just a small thing, you know, even if it's just, you know, $10, $20, you know, a few amount of money, he said, وَلَوْ كَانَ عُودًا مِنْ أَرَاكَ. Even if it's just, you know, the brush teeth, you know, the staff that used
Yes.
to brush your teeth with them. You know, so here we should realize what is Islam, what is the basics of Islam. Then we waste the basics of Islam, we consume forbidden gain, and then, mashallah, we are doing a prayer and sibha and envy and jealous and hatred and lying and cheating. And this is, you know, we should put all of those in consideration. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to guide us to
Yes.
what is right.
Yes, we have also this question. I'm raising my kids in a non-Muslim country and they are being exposed to ideas and lifestyles that do not align with Islamic values. How can I ensure they stay connected to their faith while respecting the environment they are growing up in?
MashaAllah. This is, you know, one of the things that the immigrant, they immigrate and live to in a non-Muslim country. This is one of the things that they are suffering with them. You know, if you have a community that they are, the vast majority of them are not non-believers, and you send your children to public school, so this is one of the things that, you know, they would like to take care for them.
Yes.
So this is very important, because when we raise up our children, we should give them, essentially, we should take care about their faith,
Yes.
their ethics, their value system. You know, their life should have a meaning. Because if you just, you know, just feeding them and bringing clothes and, you know, teaching them without building their personality, their attitude, their mindset, their faith, their value system, you know, so there is a big worries here. And one of the things that it can facilitate that, inshallah, is, yani, I think there is a number of things that, you know, you should put them in consideration. Number
Yes.
one, I think the Islamic Center, you should connect them with the Islamic Center. You should visit even Sunday school or something like this. Number two, your behavior with them in the house, you should do extra effort, because if you live in a non-Muslim country, you know, you should do extra effort. The more the society is corrupted around you, the more you need to do extra effort with your children. Number three, if you have the ability to send them to Islamic school, even full-time or part-time, according to her ability, she should put this in consideration. Also now there is available, as you know, internet make the far things close. So there is now some teaching online, you know, you can found for them, you know, courses online, or you can join them with some teachers from, you know, to teach them about the basics of their religion. But also my advice here, that you should not only concentrate about memorization. Memorization, because I can see the vast majority of the people that they would like to raise up their children connected with the Holy Quran, they only concentrate about memorization, especially from non-Arabic speakers. You know, they don't know Arabic, you know. So if some child that he don't speak Arabic, and then you teach him a book in Arabic and he keep memorizing. I met a lot of children or youth even, some of them even finish the memorization of the entire Quran or even half of it. And when you ask them about the meaning of the ayat, you know, they don't know the meaning. They just read a book that it's a foreigner language for them, so they just memorize it. And then because the vast majority of the people, they consider Quran is just a book of blessings. You know, so we memorize Quran, Quran is a book of blessing. Yeah, that's good. Quran is a source of blessing, no doubt, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Kitabun anzalnahu mubarak. So it's a blessed book as Allah described. But in the same time, we should put in consideration that Quran basically is a book of guidance. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. This book, no doubt about it, it's a guidance for the mindful people. So Quran basically and essentially is a book of guidance.
Yes.
And also a source of wisdom. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Yasin wal Quran al-Hakim.
Yes.
So Al-Quran al-Hakim, that means Quran is a wise book and a source of wisdom.
Yes.
So how can you get that guidance and that wisdom without understand the meaning? And also Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala described the Quran that must be reflect about its meaning, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in Surah Sad, كِتَابٌ أَنزَلْنَاهُ إِلَيْكَ مُبَارَكٌ لِيَدَّبَّرُوا آيَاتِهِ. So a blessed book that we send down to you, that they may reflect about it, or
Yes.
about its meaning. So you can see from this ayah that you must reflect. Quran basically is a book that you reflect, that you understand. It's a source of wisdom, it's a source of guidance. So how can you achieve all of these things just by memorization? Memorization is good, but it's just one step. It's one step. I memorize, 5 surahs, 10 surahs to my prayer, that's fine. But you should also teach them the stories of the Holy Quran. Let the children love the Holy Quran. When you teach them, children, as you know, they usually love the stories. So when you teach him about the story of the people of the cave, the story of the people, of the Prophet Musa, the Prophet Jesus Christ, his born, his life, a lot of, as you know, there is 25 names of prophets and messengers. They are mentioned in the Holy Quran. Children love story. So teach them the stories of the Holy Quran. Bring surah and try to explain its meaning. If you cannot explain by yourself, bring someone to explain for them. But just memorization without reflection, without understanding, this is a problem. This is not something suitable. Even if I arrange, and put them in ranks, I will put understanding before memorization.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
what you need just memorization for your prayer, for your salah. If you memorize 10 surahs, 20 surahs, that's fine. Then learn about the meaning of the Holy Quran, because this is most important.
كتاب أنزلناه إليك مبارك ليدبروا آياته وليتذكر أولو الألباب.
This is a blessed book which we have revealed to you, O Muhammad, that they might reflect upon its verses, and that those of understanding would be reminded.
We have also this question. There are times when my work schedule overlaps with prayer times, and I find it challenging to perform my salah on time. What is the best way to approach my employer about this, and is it permissible to delay prayers in such circumstances?
Great. So he need to approach his employer to take him about, that he would ask him that he would like to do the prayer in its time. And I think even no need for that, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make the prayer between 2 times, like when he say, Maghrib prayer from the sunset to that time of Isha, and there is a time, no doubt that if you have the ability or there is a chance to do the prayer at the start of the time, or even in Jama'ah, will be even, as the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, this is multiplied, its reward is multiplied 27 times. So no doubt that it's better that if you have the ability to catch the prayer in Jama'ah, or to catch the prayer in its time, no doubt that this is better if you have the ability to do that. But as we know also that our circumstances don't allow us every time, every prayer, always to catch the prayer at the start of its time and in the masjid or in Jama'ah. Then the Prophet ﷺ said, وَجُعِلَتْ لِيَ الْأَرْضُ مَسْجِدًا وَطَهُورًا. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, make the entire land for me as a masjid. That means everywhere in the land, it can you do tayammum, that you can use it as purification to prepare yourself for salah, or it's suitable to pray. So also the salah to catch the salah in Jama'ah, there is different opinions. Some ulama say it's just recommended. Some ulama say it's a communal obligatory. That means if some of the community did it, it will be just recommended for the others.
Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, used to gather some prayers together if he can catch up prayers in the right time. So can you tell us more about this?
Okay, because there is also sometimes Islam also give permission to gather the prayer together, so you can gather Dhuhr and Asr together, and you can gather Maghrib and Isha together. If you are in a journey, yeah, if you are in a journey, this is one of the exception. If you are in a journey, if you are traveling for yani more than 80 kilo or something like this, you can gather the prayer. Also, if there is a need, like sometimes if it's muddy or if it's snowing, and you cannot go to the masjid twice, this is one of the exception. Also, if you have sickness or if a doctor doing a surgery, or he can, so this is, we call it the case of necessity, and we need to differentiate between the case of necessity and if you are in a need for that. So if it's a case of necessity, entire ulama say it's exceptional. That if someone have he have a disease or a sickness, then and he cannot move from his bed twice to have ablution and to pray twice, then Islam give him permission. No need to move from your bed twice. For every prayer you can, if you have ablution, just do Asr and Dhuhr together and Maghrib and Isha together. But if you are not in a journey, you will do the full prayer. You are not made to make the prayer short, because we know if you are in a journey, you can pray Dhuhr just 2 rak'ah and Asr 2 rak'ah and Maghrib 3 and Isha will be 2 rak'ah. So this is here I need to differentiate between the case that you make the prayer short or to gather the prayer. Sometimes you gather without making the prayer short. Okay, if you are in a journey, you can gather and make the prayer short. You have the two license. But if someone he has a disease or he's in a need for that, he can pray a full prayer, complete prayer, but he gather them. And that man is just speaking about half an hour, 1 hour. He would like just to delay the prayer, 1 hour or 2. Yeah, he just would like to catch the prayer if if Asr prayer of Dhuhr prayer maybe 12 p.m. and he has the break 1 a.m. or 1:30. It's not necessary to interrupt and make a problem with your work if there is a chance. And even for me sometimes if I do a lecture in Al-Azhar University, sometimes we have the lecture and the adhan of the Dhuhr in the middle of the lecture. Sometimes if I have the ability or I have the chance to do that, that's okay. If I feel that this will interrupt the lecture or cause any hardship, I continue the lecture and then I gather my students after we finish the lecture. We go to the masjid and catch prayer. But some people, they keep spreading just one opinion and say, you must do the prayer in Jama'ah Masjid, and if you did not catch this will be, you committed sin. There is many other opinions in the history. Even Abdullah ibn Abbas, one of the Sahaba of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and some of ulama follow him, that he gave permission for the people to gather the prayer if they are in a need for that. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept our good deeds.
Yes, so finally I'd like to thank you, Dr. Abdel Nasser Ghanem, Assistant Professor of Hadith and its Sciences Faculty of Fundamentals of Religion at Al-Azhar University. Thank you, sir, for being with us.
It's my pleasure, Your Honor, Ms. Shireen.
And by that, dear viewers, we come to the end of today's edition of our program. Peace be upon you. Thank you for watching.
Assalamualaikum wa alaikum salam.